I'll be reading from Jesus Every Day. This one's called Filled with Joy. The believers were filled with joy and with the Holy Spirit. Acts chapter 13, verse 52. One of the marks of a person who has experienced salvation through Jesus Christ is a new spiritual joy. This is because the Holy Spirit lives within him, and the Spirit produces fruit, which includes joy. Anyone who really knows God should be a joyful person. This joy of the Lord is our strength. So whenever we're not joyful in spirit, we are weakened spiritually. This makes us more susceptible to satanic assaults. Not only that, but sad, gloomy, or irritable believers make a poor advertisement for Jesus Christ. Advertisers trying to sell cars film a shiny, sleek car on the highway with the light hitting it perfectly. Why? They want that car to draw you in. I've got to have that. They want you to say that. That's a good-looking car. We are Christ's ambassadors. How well do we represent him? Are we short-tempered, irritable, or depressed? Or are we expressing the joy of the Lord? During Paul's first missionary journey, the Jews in Pisidian, Antioch, incited a mob against the new believers and drove Paul and Barnabas out of town. The Christians could have become fearful, but instead they were filled with joy and with the Holy Spirit. This was how Paul described that early Christian church. They were facing persecution without much money, opposed by everyone, threatened with the loss of their jobs. Yet the report of Paul's missionary trip was not about how many were coming to church or what kind of buildings the church had. It was that the abundant presence of the Holy Spirit in their lives was causing the believers to overflow with joy. Can that be said about us today? Let's ask the Lord to revive us spiritually so our joy overflows. Then we can represent Christ in a way that will make salvation in him attractive. What a terrible representation some of us make of the one we belong to. Too many of us live with a victim mentality, but we're not victims, we're Christians. What did Paul and Silas do at midnight in prison after being beaten? They sang with joy. That joy can be ours today, but we have it to claim, but we have to claim it. I will not walk depressed. I will not be gloomy. Holy Spirit, come and so fill me that your joy will overflow from my life. That is my badge. That is my advertisement for Jesus Christ. What happened to that joyful song you once had? You went about your day singing. When we cease singing joyfully, we are not a good advertisement for Jesus Christ. May God help us to catch ourselves and say, Lord, turn this thing around.